Hi doctor, my name is Amesha. My matrix number is 287242. Our topic of group assignment is analyze the corporate governance of bank sector in Malaysia. So let me introduce you our group members. So we are group 10 and we have 6 members in group 10. So the first member will be Nur Hanis, following by Muhammad Zulfami, uh, Danisha. Then Danisha is our group leader. So the next member will be Chua Sing Wang, and following by Ong Po Yi, and the last is me, Ang Pei. So that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
My name is Danisha Jayachandran and my matrix number is 280272. So for this assessment, we choose banking sector. For the introduction, a senior supervisor at Bank Rakyat Kota Kinabalu branch pleaded guilty to dishonestly using fake reports. Muhammad Hazri, Nur Ghazali 30 and Rizwan Ahmad 31 were fined RM 10k for their part in the case. They were charged under Section 471 of the Penal Code, guilty under Section 465 of the equivalent, to be followed by Section 34 of the equivalent, which carries a maximum sentence of 2 years in prison, a fine, or both. According to the allegation, the team used 3 forged reports, all signed by Nur Azniza Atika Mudi, as supporting document for Nurul Azniza credits application. Lawyer P.J. Pereira suggested that only a fine be imposed on them and that no jail time to be imposed. MACC arraigning officer Rekaraj Singh requested that Hazri and Rizwan to be sentenced to a greater and more appropriate fine. For the executive summary, problem statement, criminal prosecutions such as forgery produced by high leaders of chief, particularly in the banking industry, is not uncommon in Malaysia. Forgery at workplace can be defined as the deliberate manipulation or misapplication of the employing organization's asset or resources for personal gain. The solution include devices to ensure the validity of the reports that are coming in, guaranteeing that the record must be seen by the person for whom it was created, and achieve security arrangement to ensure that no others obstructs the record in any way. Final thought. Finally, mispresentation, bribery and fraud all have a similar character, which is the aim of the blamed individual to cheat others.
Hi doctor, my name is Ong Boi, number matric 2x7216. Now I present about the background of criminal prosecutions. Criminal cases happen when a person who has committed a crime which is break the law while in a country with either a common law, adversarial system or a civil law inquisitorial system. A prosecutor is a legal representative of the prosecutions. In criminal law, prosecute means someone impressed to bring charge against them, and such actions are initiated by the prosecuting attorney. The criminal prosecution system is complex and lengthy, involving a wide range of persons from detectives, prosecutors, and court officials to defendants and their attorneys. Normally, the bulk of criminal defendants in federal courts are individuals. However, organizational offenders like as partnerships, corporations, trusts, unions, pension funds, and non-profits are occasionally prosecuted, and not simply for frauds or money laundering. Hereby, with the state prosecutions such as investigations, brief assessment, or decision to charge, charging or commencing or proceedings, committal proceedings, hearing, trial, sentencing, and appeals. As the information, all the prosecutions will judge, occur, and review a decision in different courts, such as lower court, county or district, or Supreme Court, and so on. However, normally all matters start in the local courts, also known as the magistrates' courts. A United States Sentencing Commission is an independent, current legal framework organization. In the fiscal year that ends October 1, 2015, it studied at 181 groups that had been committed of a federal violation. The report says the rate of organization crime was rising about 12% from fiscal 2014. Corporation is 46.5%, and limited liability firms also is 46.5% on the majority of the organization in which discarded, which is only 27.5%. Unlike individual, for criminal offense, corporations may not be imprisoned unless individual. Corporations subject to fines, restitution orders, and other forms of punishment. Our group is do the research based on the bank riot. Based on our research, Bank Rakyat has involved in a criminal prosecution, which is Bank Rakyat Malaysia Chairman General Dasli Abdul Aziz Daina and his managing director Dato Mustafa Abdul Razak were charged at the session court over criminal breach of trust involving almost 50 million at 7 September 2016. Before Judge Madiha Harula, Dan Sri Abdul Aziz Daina, 65 years old, had claimed trial for abetting Mustafa in the alleged criminal breach of trust of 14.9 million, and they are committing the offence at Menara Kembar Bank Raya, number 33 Jalan Trevos. As the result, Masli Muhammad Daud, Deputy Public Prosecutor and Director of Max Prosecutions, request the court impose and 2 million surety to both of them and forfeit their passports. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Thank you, Boy. Good day, doctor. My name is Chua Jing Wang, number metric 2x6959. I'm going to present corporate culture. National Pinel defines corporate culture as how we do things around here in her book Corporate Culture Change. She goes on to say that when people go into the buildings, people could instantly sense the corporate culture. Respect, agile, knowledge-driven, desire for excellence, accountability, trust characterize Bank Rakyat's corporate culture. This corporate culture was created to increase the adaptable to changing environments in order to stay competitive and always generate values for building a high-performing organizations, produce high-quality works, and strict effort in improving organizations' performance. Take responsibility and make high commitments, deliver what is promised. Next, Maybanks. Teamwork, integrity, growth, excellence and efficiency, and relationship building are all important aspects of Maybank corporate culture. Its corporate culture is dedicated to achieving the company purpose of making financial service simple, intuitive, and accessible. Besides forming trusted partnership for shared future and treating everyone with fairness and integrity are parts of its purpose. Moving on to the next bank, Bank Islam. As part of its corporate culture, Bank Islam respects and adheres to openness, integrity, fairness, confidentiality, and objectivity in the financial service market. Organizations and individuals must act in an accountable and trustworthy manner, avoiding any action that may harm or discredit the industry reputations, treating those with whom they have professional relationship with respect, and always consider the impact of their decision and action on all the stakeholders. Last but not least, components, integrity, fairness, sequences, and objectivity are parts of public bank corporate cultures. Organizations and individuals must build and manage the requisite qualification, ability, and attitude to guarantee that the tasks are carried out effectively and without bias and free of conflict of interest. That's all for me. Thank you. I will pass it to the next presenter, Hanis.
Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. My name is Nurhanis binti Zulkifli, metric number 272493. Today I'm going to talk about ethical safeguards and also virtues. An ethical safeguard is a set of fundamentals that provide guidelines or an alternative which are used to remove the ethical threats that occur in company. Ethical safeguard is also known as a limitation or control placed on a professional person or an organization to prevent the occurrence of any of the ethical hazards listed is known as an ethical safeguard. These threats apply to all employees, whether it is in practice or in business, and the safeguards towards those threats diversify, determined by the specified threats. There are two types of ethical safeguards: those The first one is those enforced by the profession, legislation or regulation, and those imposed by a firm's own systems and procedures. Next, I'm going to talk about virtue. Virtue is an excellent characteristic where it is a property rooted in its owner and can be seen as it is aware, expecting, grateful, feeling, wishing, choosing, acting as opposed to habit. It reacts in a particular characteristic way. In this context, by having virtues means that being a particular type of person with a particular complex mindset. Ethical failings of financial institutions are often blamed on the organization culture rather than the tendency of a few malicious individuals. We have chosen 4 banks for this study, that is Bank Rakyat, Bank Islam, Maybank and also Public Bank, that set out the standards of codes of ethics to protect an individual and also organization from the effects of ethical threats, whether it is internal or external. In this, the banks, both the directors and also employees of the organizations, are required to adhere to ethical principles and also accustomed as a guidance when doing a decision making, and also when doing a when the conduct is in process. For further explanation, the directors and employees are duty-bound to sustain the eminent integrity in acquitting their duties, and also in dealings with stakeholders, customers, and also regulators. It is important to know that as a custodian of the public funds, the bank has the accountability to uphold its principles and also tenability. The three of the bank has code of conduct that outline the importance of virtue to advocate public confidence towards the security and also integrity of the banking system. And the virtue of the employees of the banks has the commitment to comply with laws and regulations that are applicable to the banks in order for them to strengthen the compliance culture. Thank you. That's all from me. I'm going to pass this presentation to the next presenter.
Hi doctor, my name is Ernation. My matrix number is 287242. I'm here to present you about the whistleblowing policy. Whistleblowing means revealing or reporting by employees, staff, consultants, and all the stakeholders of the company of their unethical conduct, improper act, and unlawful behavior. The objective of this policy is provided an annual through secured and effective reporting channel for all the employees of the bank and the members of the public to disclose any improper conduct. And the scope of this policy is including fraud or dishonesty, bribery or corruption, the theft and embezzlement, abuse of power, misuse of the bank property and information, and conflict of interest, and etc. Next, we're going to talk about the protection and revocation of protection to whistleblower. To provide protection, Bank Islam and Public Bank encourage whistleblowers to reveal their identities while filling the disclosure report. The identity of whistleblower will keep confidential by the bank, and only necessary information will be provided. Next, for the disclosure channel and procedure for whistleblower. A whistleblower can write a letter or meet with the head of corporate integrity department in person or via the internet. The bank creates an official email or link for whistleblower to submit their disclosure report or fill out the bank's disclosure form. Now let me introduce you the anti-bribery and corruption policy of all these banks we analyze. The aim of this policy is to encourage organizations to conduct business activity with integrity and to support the good governance practice. And next, the person involved in this policy is all the bank's stakeholders, including the board of directors, staff, customer, supplier, and everyone else involved directly or indirectly in the bank operation. And the next is the type of bribery or corruption. By giving or receiving gifts and entertainment, including donation and sponsorship, with the goal of bribery, retain or gain a corporate advantage, or for personal benefit, is severely banned, whether it's directly or indirectly. For now, let me introduce you how we analyze the effectiveness of corporate governance. We are analyze the effectiveness of governance for these four banks by using these two perspectives, which is both the leadership and effectiveness and integrity of compliance. For the board leadership and effectiveness, we find out that the board of directors for these four banks will usually monitoring and evaluating the bank's business plan, corporate governance framework, and supervising their administration of banks. The BOD of these banks are giving full commitment of corporate governance to ensure the bank's long-term sustainability and financial stability. The next perspective is integrity of compliance. All these banks are established a compliance culture that values personal and organizational integrity, responsibility, and continual development. It has corporate governance structure in these places. So sum it up, the effectiveness of corporate governance then we analyze for these four banks are usually doing good by reviewing their board of leadership and effectiveness and integrity of compliance. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Zulfahmi bin Muhammad Tarmizi. My metric number is 272662. I'm going to present about Board of Directors. An effective board generally has a well-balanced support composition which consists of experienced and qualified individuals from different backgrounds. The diversity of board structure is essential in increasing the range of perspective, skill, expertise, and experience, which will boost the board effective in making good decision and strategy planning. Besides that, board independence is also vital in ensuring that the executive authorities are not misused by the board member, so that the board efficiency can be maintained and corporate performance can be improved. Therefore, appointment of new board of director and senior management member are recommended to be accessed based on diverse demographic and psychographic information. According to provision of Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021, at least half of the board are corporate should be comprised by the independent director, while the board of life corporation should have majority independent director. In addition, the board should have at least 30% of female director. The cooperation policy on gender diversity of the board and the senior management is required to be disclosed in annual report. Meanwhile, based on the listing requirement, a listed corporation should have a minimum of 2 directors or 1/3 of the board need to comprise of independent director. For Bank Rakyat, there are 11 board of directors comprising a majority of independent and executive director and director with a broad range of experience, skill, and expertise from a diverse range of background. The 11 board of director consists of 6 independent director and 5 non-independent director. In terms of gender, 3 out of 11 director are female, which show 27% of female on board. For Maybank, the board have 12 members, consists of 9 independent and 3 non-independent director. In terms of gender diversity, 4 out of 12 board of director are female, which show 30% of female on the board. The board consists that the current composition fairly reflected. For Bank Islam, there are 11 board of director consists of 8 independent director and 3 non-independent director. It shows that the independent director on board is majority that comply to the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021. However, Bank Islam did not embed gender diversity, which didn't fulfill the requirement of at least 30% of female directors state in the Malaysian Code of Corporation Governance 2021. Out of 11 directors, there are only 2 female directors. For public bank, the present board comprises 9 board of directors with 7 independent directors and 2 non-independent directors. In terms of gender, 3 out of 9 directors are female, which show 30% of female on the board. As such, the gender diversity does fulfill the requirement of at least 30% of female directors stated in Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance 2021. As a result, the ethic and corporate governance about the corruption in Malaysia banking sector need to be judged by the right policy in order to reduce the number of corruption and dishonesty. We recommend that the policymaker need to include device to ensure that the validity on the report that coming is guarantee of achieve security to ensure that no other person can obstruct record in any way. This arrangement can help to significantly reduce the risk of report mispresentation.